Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome to a TAC Chat video today. Now, first on the agenda today, guys, is 2.4.1 has been put onto the PTU. It's not on live yet. This looks like it addresses a lot of the crashes and the infinite loading issues that we've had, so that's great news. I've no doubt it won't be on the PTU for very long. I think if it shows that it's stable, they'll quite happily push that straight over to live pretty quickly. It does look like that Star Citizen are planning to release some new features. I don't think we're going to see them in 2.5. We're more likely going to see them probably 3 or 4 main patches away. From what I can see, the intention is to get what they currently have stable and work on the issues that they have. I've no doubt that we will see new ships and other small bits and bobs along the way. Now, there could be a reason for this because I think is it November, October, November, there's a games event. I have no doubt they're going to be wanting to showcase some stuff. One of them clearly will be some Squadron 42 sort of teaser sort of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they've made a trailer for it. That would be pretty cool to see that. And also, I'm expecting to see some really cool stuff. Maybe a little bit more polished planetside landing and some in-game mechanics. Now, outside of Star Citizen, we now have the 1080 graphics card, which is a big leap actually, because it does look like the 1080 is getting very close, even on the Crisis point of view. And well, we can't really say Star Citizen yet because there's performance issues in-game. Even on Crisis, we're seeing 54, 55 FPS at 4K, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm really looking forward to the new technology that come after the 1080, personally. I think that's going to be something that hopefully pushes it maybe over the 60, 70 at 4K. It'll be absolutely brilliant. I would like to own a 1080. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there holding out for the 1070. That's supposed to be pretty good as well. There's not a massive hertz rating or performance difference between the two, really. It's not that significant. The only downside for me in purchasing it, it's quite expensive. I think it's like £600. I mean, it's like, that's a crazy amount of money for a graphics card. They do start out like that, but that's a lot of money. I mean, before that card come out, you could pick up a R9 290 for like $200, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to wait until the prices either come down. AMD have released the 480. It's a budget graphics card. It's gonna compete probably with the 970, the GTX 970, but at a price range at $200, which is pretty incredible, guys. And actually, I really believe that this is the best thing that AMD could have done. I feel like there's always been this war between AMD and Nvidia, and it's always been about power. Not necessarily what power, but who can produce the better performing card. And it does seem that now AMD are looking at it a different way and saying, hey, look, actually we're getting to a point where performance is not negligible, but we're at a point where you can play a game pretty much on any of the, the 970, even the new generations, probably going back another generation, most games at 60 FPS. Would a 480 be able to play all the top titles at 60 FPS at 1080? 100% yes. So it's a good move, and in some ways it's going to help us out as gamers. Hopefully this puts Nvidia under a little bit of pressure to drop their prices a little bit, because they are high. They do drop over time. I do understand that the 1080 is just come out, but don't keep into consideration, guys, the 480 when it comes out is starting at 200. It might end up at 150. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Absolutely crazy. Great news for us as gamers, because once again, let's hope that that drives the Nvidia price down as well. Now, I've had quite a few comments across my channel regarding VR and asking me, am I going to go down the line of VR? What do I think of it? I think VR is going to be absolutely massive, not just in gaming, but you can see in all different areas how it can be used, and it's going to work very well. And I can see a lot of other businesses using that technology to grow their businesses. People in real estate, to be able to look around a property before you even go there, be really cool. Selling items, possibly even, cars, and it fits so many applications alongside gaming that you could see it's going to do incredibly well. My take on the current VR solutions, I sort of feel like you're a first adopter here. I appreciate there were some testing versions that come out on the Oculus Rift previously on the Kickstarter page and a few others. They were alright, there were some issues with them. The new ones are far better. I have no doubt, but I just think the technology that supports it, GPUs, I understand that the 480 is supposed to be VR ready, but running a game at 70 FPS on a headset is going to be a strain. And not only that, the games that I want to play at the moment are just not VR ready. I think my take is it's like when the first iPhone came out. It wasn't that great. It was the design of the concepts were good, but the Gen 2, when it started getting really good and the design and the build got to another level. And I sort of feel the same thing with the VR at the moment. I think these Gen 1s that are coming out, people are going to buy them, they're going to use them, they're going to work well, I've no doubt about that. But I feel like the next generation will be a lot better because they'll look back and learn from their mistakes. They'll also be able to drive down the price because the demand would be higher. So that means that they'll be hopefully more cost efficient. So we might, well, we as consumers won't see that cost saving to start with, but after time, like most electrical goods, that price will go down and make it a little bit more affordable as well. So definitely up for VR, but I'm probably going to miss this generation, guys. Wait for the next generation. I think that then the GPU and the whole PC ecosystem and also the VR solutions will drop down in price. Now, alongside that, we have the consoles as well. Do you know what? I've been a PC gamer for probably the last quite a long time. I came from the Xbox 360, the Atari ST, the Spectrum. I'm going to show you some like proper old stuff. And I followed that. I followed through with the consoles. I like the consoles. Really good, instant gameplay. And at that time, the consoles weren't that far away from the PCs. The master race wasn't that significant. It was only after maybe 2 or 3 years that PCs started, really producing high quality, better GPUs and better performance. And of course, the Xbox at that point had a good 4-year life cycle. So they're doing a refresh. They're doing a refresh of the PlayStation and the Xbox to create a slightly better experience. I would go back to a console. I would do it, guys, but I just feel that playing at 30 FPS, the console should be driving to live up to today's standards with technology. I mean, put a good GPU, put a good CPU on it, give the developers the ability to produce games that look better and play at high frame rates and make that experience better. I think it'd be a good thing. I would go back to consoles one day, but I would probably like them to change the tune a little bit and maybe make the technology a little bit, pushing it a little bit forward so we can see some really, really good looking games. I'm not saying that the consoles by any means, I mean the games that come out, I think it's actually fantastic what the developers do because, let's be honest, the consoles are stagnant. It's how well the development's progressed over the period of time and how well they've managed to optimize and make things look very nice. So it's definitely kudos to them. But there's only so far you can go with that. So I think the refresh will help, but I'm not sure if it's going to make me jump out there and buy a console by any means. But I think I'll stick for my PC for now, I think. And I also did see something that was mentioned a little while ago, that some games on console will be available on the PC, so it'll be one license across them both. This doesn't mean that they all will be. At the moment, there's only going to be a few games that are like that because they won't work. There's going to have to be some porting over to make that license work across them both. I do like the idea of having one license across both. I mean, if I had my Steam library now and there was 10 games there that I could go and play on an Xbox, I'd be more than likely to get an Xbox, to be honest with you. I probably would. Would I? I probably would, actually. I'll probably think, well, sod it, actually. As long as I don't have to buy all the games again that I already own, then it makes it a little bit more appealing. So we've got some really cool stuff coming up, particularly on the console side as well, that makes it a little bit interesting. Not enough to jump over as yet, and I'll clearly always be a PC sort of master race because the PC is driving visuals and game making, I suppose, that then sort of trickles down to console. Is that fair to say? Regarding content on the channel, we had a bit of a spurt with 2.4, covered off a bit of that content. I've been trying to make a Starfarer flight test video. I've tried to make it about 3 or 4 times now. The previous patch, I know we have the new patch now, I'm going to try again. I had a lot of issues trying to get stability in the Starfarer. There was, falling through the floor. There was a lot of issues with the guns that made it very difficult for me to make the video. I could have done it. I could have patched it together, but I wanted to produce something that was a slightly better quality. I wanted to show you a flight test of the Starfarer so you could take that information after I've done the flight test and make a decision to maybe work towards a Starfarer or possibly even purchase one. And I felt that the current state that it was in, particularly the gun turrets, that if I couldn't have shown you that, I felt like I would have missed that information out. I did think about making half of the video and then coming back and doing half later. I'd rather try and cover most of it off, and then if I've got to come back for one change later, yep, fair enough. But like I said, all the gunner seats were causing issues, and I had a lot of other issues as well that sort of made it pretty much impossible really to make that video. So that was it for me, guys. Just a little bit of an update. Hopefully going to be seeing the Starfarer video soon. Also, guys, if you're looking to join a Star Citizen organisation, there's a link in the description below. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.